In 1997, a Wisconsin congressman wrote 26 words that permanently grounded America's most advanced fighter jet. The F-22 Raptor has never been sold to any foreign country, not Japan, not Australia, not Israel, not even close allies who were willing to pay billions for it. The official reason was technology protection, but the real story involves Cold War politics, a controversial technology transfer to China, and what some analysts call one of the biggest strategic blunders of the post-Cold War era. This video breaks down exactly why the F-22 was banned from export, who was really behind it, and whether it was the right call. The F-22 Raptor entered service in 2005 as the world's first operational fifth-generation fighter. Lockheed Martin developed it during the Cold War to counter advanced Soviet aircraft like the Su-27 and MiG-29. The Air Force originally planned to buy 750 F-22s at a total program cost of $44.3 billion. That number dropped repeatedly through the 1990s. Dick Cheney's 1990 Major Aircraft Review cut it to 648. The 1993 bottom-up review dropped it to 442. The final purchase was just 187 operational aircraft. Total program cost exceeded $67 billion. That works out to roughly $412 million per aircraft when you include development costs. For comparison, an F-35A costs around $80 million today. The F-22 was expensive, but it was also genuinely revolutionary. Its radar cross-section of approximately 0.0001 square meters is roughly 1,000 times smaller than the F-35. No other fighter in the world matches its combination of stealth, speed, and maneuverability. The export ban came from a single amendment to the 1998 Defense Appropriations Act. Representative David Obey, a Democrat from Wisconsin, introduced 26 words that changed everything. The amendment stated that no funds could be used to approve or license the sale of F-22 fighters to any foreign government. Congress passed it with overwhelming support. The House voted 356 to 65 in favor. The Senate voted 93 to 5. President Clinton signed it into law on October 8, 1997. Obey's public rationale was straightforward. He argued that if America was going to spend $80 to $100 billion to regain a technology edge, it should keep that technology at home. He warned that selling the F-22 would force taxpayers to fund yet another replacement fighter within a decade as adversaries caught up. But here is where it gets interesting. Obey held a master's degree in Russian and Soviet studies from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. He was deeply aware of Cold War technology competition, and as chairman of the House Appropriations Committee, he had enormous power over defense spending. His opposition was nearly impossible to overcome. The official story focuses on protecting technology from Russia and China, but multiple defense analysts point to a different target: Israel. The precedent was alarming. Israel's Lavi fighter program in the 1980s was funded 40% by the United States using American engines and components. Washington canceled the program in 1987 after signaling opposition. China's J-10 fighter began development around 1992. Defense analysts have documented striking design similarities between the J-10 and the canceled Lavi. GlobalSecurity.org states directly that the law prohibiting F-22 sales to Israel was adopted in response to Israel's transfer of American aerospace technologies to China. The political reality was this: the United States could not single out Israel for a technology ban without creating a diplomatic crisis. A blanket prohibition covering all potential buyers solved this problem. Japan, Australia, and other trusted allies became collateral damage in what may have been a targeted measure disguised as universal policy. The F-22 contained systems that had never been approved for export to any ally. A declassified 2010 Air Force study described the aircraft as packed full of sensitive technologies, from its low observable structures and coatings right down to the fasteners. The AN/APG-77 radar features approximately 2,000 transmit-receive modules with detection range exceeding 120 nautical miles. Its low probability of intercept mode changes frequency over 1,000 times per second. The Pratt & Whitney F-119 engines deliver 35,000 pounds of thrust, each with two-dimensional thrust vectoring. They enable sustained supercruise above Mach 1.8 without afterburners. The 2010 export study specifically identified thrust vectoring and supercruise as technology the government had never allowed to go into a fighter destined for a foreign ally. Two entire categories of sensitive systems remain completely redacted even today. For any export variant, the Air Force concluded the radar would need to be replaced entirely with the F-35 system. Converting the F-22 for export would have cost an estimated $1.94 billion in development alone. Japan pushed hardest for the F-22 and was turned away. The Japan Air Self-Defense Force contacted Lockheed Martin about purchasing F-22s as early as 2004. In April 2007, the White House National Security Council signaled potential flexibility. Reports indicated Japan wanted to purchase as many as 100 aircraft. Lockheed Martin offered substantial incentives. Japanese companies could be responsible for over 60% of total work. A 60-aircraft sale would have added 3 years to the F-22 assembly line. Congress extended the export ban in 2006. Japan was rejected solely because of the Obey Amendment. Japan chose the F-35 in December 2011 after F-22 production ended. It eventually ordered 147 F-35s, making it the largest international customer, but Japan considered this a second choice. The F-22 denial directly catalyzed indigenous development. Japan built the X-2 Shinshin demonstrator, which first flew in April 2016 and notably resembled the F-22. Japan rejected Lockheed's 2018 offer of an F-22 and F-35 hybrid at $177 million per aircraft. In December 2022, Japan merged its program with the UK's Tempest project into the Global Combat Air Program. That sixth-generation fighter partnership with the UK and Italy targets 2035 entry into service. Some analysts argue the export ban was really about protecting F-35 sales. The war zone stated explicitly in 2016 that the export ban was more of a protectionist tool to bolster F-35 production numbers than a national security play. The circumstantial evidence is compelling. Every country denied F-22s became an F-35 customer. Japan, Australia, Israel, all of them. Defense Secretary Robert Gates argued that 11,000 F-22 jobs would be replaced by 82,000 F-35 jobs. The F-22 production line was shuttered, and its Marietta facility converted to support F-35 production. A retired Air Force general told the war zone that F-22 production was killed partly to ensure B-21 bomber funding. Lockheed Martin spent $6.5 million in the first quarter of 2009 alone lobbying Congress to prevent F-22 termination. The company had distributed production across 46 states with over 1,000 subcontractors to maximize congressional support. It did not work. The 2009 Senate vote to terminate production passed 58-40. Today, China produces 100 to 120 J-20 stealth fighters annually. Over 300 are now in service. America has 185 F-22s with approximately 100 typically operational. The F-22's mission-capable rate dropped to 40% in 2024. The Air Force proposed retiring 32 older Block 20 training aircraft, but Congress blocked divestment in 2023, 2024, and 2025. Boeing won the Next Generation Air Dominance contract in 2025 for the F-47, the F-22's sixth-generation replacement. First flight is expected in 2028, with service entry in the 2030s. The budget requests $3.5 billion to accelerate the program. Defense analyst Andrew Latham called the export ban one of the most strategically consequential decisions of the post-Cold War era and a major strategic blunder. By denying allies access to the world's premier air superiority platform, the United States eliminated economies of scale, closed the production line prematurely, and created what some call an air superiority gap that the F-35 cannot fill. Others defend the decision. The technology truly was revolutionary. China analyzed F-117 debris from Serbia's 1999 shootdown to improve the J-20. The F-22 stakes were far higher. Whether 26 words written by a Wisconsin congressman in 1997 protected American security or undermined it depends on how you weigh those trade-offs. For more on the F-22's capabilities and how it compares to the F-35, check the video linked in the description. If you want to understand why the Air Force says it needs 1,558 fighters, I covered that in detail recently. Subscribe for more aircraft breakdowns.